Good afternoon, everybody. Hey, Joe Hart. Nice to see you. Appreciate the favors in the restreams. What's up? Thank you, Bill. Nice to see you. Appreciate you tuning in. Nice to see you. How's everybody doing today on the Nooner? So it's 12 o'clock noon Pacific Standard Time. This is episode 61 of the Nooner. I am your host, David Bradley, coming to you live from the Central Coast of California. Got my Hanson soda with me today. Hi, Laura. How are you? So what are we talking about today? Do you guys know? There was a question that my boss, Grant Cardone, posed up on, hey, I got a new face over here. Dom. Welcome, Dom. Thank you for being here. Today we're going to be talking about, would you rather help a million people or have $1 million? And this is a question that my boss, Grant Cardone, posed up on the Twitter and Facebook, and then he wrote an article about it over on Medium, and I thought, hey, this is a topic, man. You know, this is definitely something that's worth discussing. I think the issue of help is a very discussing. I think the issue of help is a very, very important thing. So we're going to dig into that today. We're going to read some of the responses that people gave, what I got, what I heard. I threw that question out. I got some really cool hola, Dom says. So I'm guessing Dom, habla español, Dom. So, yeah, I'm going to be throwing in my 2 cents on that deal. Let me introduce myself to y'all. My name is David Bradley. I'm a sales and marketing manager with Grant Cardone and Cardone Training Technologies. What we do in our company is we go into businesses, we help them increase production 15 to 30% simply by helping them find and then handle missed opportunity. So whether you're a business of 1 or 100 or 100,000, if you've got some missed opportunity, we can help you with that. You can reach out to me a couple different ways. 310-777-0352, that's my direct line. Also, David at grantcardone.com, that's my email. Laura says, hi. Hey, Laura, you're about to get super busy checking in guests. Hey, no worries, man. If don't worry, the replays of every one of these things I'm putting up on the YouTube. So you just go to youtube.com/Cardone Solutions. There's a playlist there called The Nooner. You can pick this up later on this afternoon. Dom's in Barcelona. Nice. Okay, so you speak real Spanish, like traditional Castilian, I assume. That's pretty cool, man. Well, thank you and appreciate you being here. It's 12 o'clock noon on the West Coast. The Nooner for me is about dropping a little noontime nugget about sales, business, or life. So if you've been coffee's worn off for you, maybe you've had some lunch for your body, I want to give you some lunch for your brain and a little piece of motivation you can take with you into the rest of your day. I love your profile pic, by the way, Dom. Ed Ovett has showed up. Ed Ovett is he's from Florida. Nice to meet you, Ed. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. We're going to be talking about whether or not you would like to have $1 million or help 1 million people. So if you've got some insight on that, would love to see some comments below from you about that. What else was I telling you about? Oh, I was introducing myself. So number one, I'm a sales and marketing manager for Grant Cardone. We help companies increase production through sales training and marketing training, and we solve problems for people. The other thing I am is I'm an author. I've written a book called How to Stop Smoking Without Killing Anyone. I smoked cigarettes for just about 15 years and could not quit to save my life, and found a way to stop, though. There is a difference, and that resulted in me not having a cigarette since May of 2002. So if you'd like to hear more about how I accomplished that feat, check out stopdon'tquit.com. That book goes beyond just stopping smoking. That book is about busting any habit you want. So if you got a bad habit, that book will help. Third thing on me is I'm the founder of a hashtag called Rich Man's Gym. This is about home-based strength and conditioning for body, mind, and spirit. I'm a big proponent of not having to go to the gym to get in a good workout and an effective one that produces results. You can do that right from the comfort of your own home. You can also do that at a local park or rec center. Certainly don't have to go to a cookie cutter gym to do that and be successful. So I'm working on a book on that right now. It's a hashtag, so if you want more information about what Rich Man's Gym is all about, search that hashtag and you might find some cool stuff. Laura says, huge Cowboy game coming up on Sunday. Yeah, so yeah, you're going to have your hands full, all right. So let me get some. So before you bounce out of here, Laura, would you rather have $1 million or would you rather help 1 million people, and why? Leave that comment down below for me. And if you haven't started typing it, I would love to get your feedback. What makes more sense to you? Help 1 million people or have $1 million? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. My boss, Grant Cardone, like I was saying, he put this question up on, I think he threw it up on LinkedIn, he threw it up on Meerkat, or not Meerkat, sorry, Twitter, Facebook, and then he put an article over on Medium where he gives the results from a Twitter poll that he did asking that same exact question. And then he's got some 2 cents on that. So I'm going to read from the article in a few minutes. But here's the interesting stat. So he says that when he ran this poll, 70% of the pop that responded to this thing said help 1 million people. And then 30% went for the money. So this to me is like, that's kind of like reassuring that basically man is good. Laura said she wants to help 1 million people. Good for you. Nice. Congratulations. Let me know why. He says that Bill says ideally both. Your heart wants to help. Your brain says take the money. Yeah, right. I totally get where you're coming from on that. 30% of the pop said they want they'll take the money versus 70%. So what that tells me, though, is that ultimately, as a society, we are essentially good, and that we are looking out for our fellow man, and we know that the real benefit is in helping other people. So, but there were comments that went with that. So I'm going to read some of these to you. There was over on Twitter, one guy says he'd take the money and invest it. Then you can help more than 1 million people. Okay, so that's interesting. Another guy says, I'd rather have the million so I can help even more people than 1 million. Okay. One guy throws up help 1 million. Another guy says, I'll take the money. I can save even more if used properly. So with $1 million, you can help more than 1 million people. So it's interesting how they're taking, I'll take the money so I can actually use it to help more people. Another guy says, almost positive if you help 1 million people, you will have way more than $1 million. Which I think, and that was my instinct. The first thought I had when I was looking at the poll is like, if I can help 1 million people and get paid for that, then that'll be worth way more than $1 million, right? So that makes sense. If you can figure out how to help 1 million people, you can figure out how to help 2 million people. Some guy says, if you help 1 million people, you'll have a lot more than $1 million. Okay, so that answer seems to be trending. Another guy says, hey, trick question, to make millions, impact millions, helping millions is the way. Another person says, I want both. So they're on your side over here, Bill. Someone says, if I can figure out a way to help 1 million people, you can make more than $1 million. So that concept is trending. So and I like that. That shows that people are legitimately interested in putting out help. The guy says, love this. Help is always... can't read that. It's the reason money even exists. Who can be born to live without help from anybody? Okay. So what is this telling you, right? One guy says, I'll take the money, build something out of it, and then it's all about helping other people. Okay. Another guy says, if I could help 1 million, I can guarantee that at least one of those millions of persons will give me the money. Chad Sellers did. Another guy says, both. Okay. That's just from Twitter, right? So who else is on the stream? There's 5 people that haven't given me their 2 cents on this yet. When you go over to Facebook, you get some interesting results too. There was a huge conversation about that, because if you're doing right, helping 1 million people will net you a whole hell of a lot more than a lousy $1 million. Hashtag big picture. So what's the message? I mean, that's what does that mean? We got a big follower of ours, Ken Walls. He says definitely help 1 million. It would be 100% impossible to not get way more than $1 million back, even or every law of the entire universe would be worthless if you genuinely helped 1,000,000 people and didn't get back at least that tenfold. I gotta like that real fast. I'm gonna read that one again. Definitely help 1,000,000. It would be 100% impossible to not get way more than 1,000,000 back. Every law of the entire universe would be worthless if you genuinely helped 1,000,000 people and didn't get back at least tenfold. I mean, that's a powerful statement right there. That's Ken Walls. He's a good dude. If you haven't picked him up on Twitter or the Facebook, man, go check out our guy Ken Walls. It's a good statement right there. So then some people start bashing on the poor people that went with the money, which is sad. But what we're finding is that most people, I mean, what my answer was real simple. It's help 1,000,000, dividend will be massive. Does that make sense? Do you guys agree with that? Is there anybody out there that would take the money? Just give me the money. Thanks for the restream, Laura. What do you guys think? You know? Bill says, this type of question has a different answer when people asked in private. Oh, wow, that's interesting. Okay, all right. I like that, Bill. So this type of question has a different answer when people asked in private. People say what they think people want to hear, but can be different when done in private. Ooh, love that. Okay, all right. So now you're calling some of these people out, right? Okay, put the money in front of them and say, no one will know, and then see what they say. All right. So do you remember at the beginning of this, I said that the fact that 70% responded with, I'd rather help 1,000,000 people, and then 30% said they'll take the money. So by that, and then right after that, I said that to me that shows that as a society, man is good. That you can judge another person's character, like truly based on their willingness to help their fellow man. What do you think then if you are if you feel like maybe these people are not being fully straight up right now, that they're not being very honest? Do you feel like they're just saying that because they're on social, and then in reality they do want the money, and so therefore they're not inherently good, that maybe there's some ulterior motive to that, and that might be an ego thing that they're saying that for? Because I'll tell you this. For me, Marco, my buddy Marco Bernini just showed up. Thank you for favoring in the restream. Marco, what's the deal, man? You want to help 1,000,000 people, or you want to have $1,000,000? Let me know. That's what we're asking today. We're having that discussion. Grant's had it on Twitter and Facebook, and I'm having it now on Meerkat. So would you rather help 1,000,000 people or have $1,000,000, and why? So, Bill, does that mean that inherently people are not good, or what's your take on that? Just curious. So I'm going to read Grant's article from Medium. It's short and sweet, and then I'm going to wrap this thing up. Appreciate all the participation so far. So Marco says help. All right, cool. Does that mean that Marco, so 30% on Grant's poll said I'll take the money, and then 70% said I'd rather help. So does that, for you, what does that tell you about society? That man is basically good? Or Bill just brought up a really interesting point. Bill said that he thinks maybe some of these people are just saying that because they know they're in a social forum and they want to look good. So what's your thoughts? So here's Grant's article. It says, would you rather have $1,000,000 or help 1,000,000 people? It's a great question that causes you to consider where your values are. Totally. I love this question. This is fantastic. It's why I'm doing it on Meerkat. I mean, it's a powerful, powerful question. You really got to think about it. And if you're honest about it, right, as Bill's calling people out right now, if you're honest about it, you know, you really got to think about that for a second. And I put some thought in it. I'm like, man, because $1,000,000 right now, that would solve a few things for me, you know. But if I can turn around and help 1,000,000 people and know that I've helped 1,000,000 people, I just get the sense that you could monetize that and make way more than $1 million, you know, if that's the case. But at the end of the day, I'm not taking this with me. And why wouldn't you want to make a living helping somebody else? I mean, that's what I do now. I'm in the help business, you know, and that's how I plan to make $1 million. So it makes sense to me. Marco says, if I helped 1 million people, I'd be able to create wealth far beyond $1 million. Yeah, man, that's what I'm thinking. Bill says, if you asked Grant that question when he was 24, what would he have done? Well, you probably, you know, I don't know, frankly. You know, Grant was a very different person when he was 24. He may have been on the help wagon back then, but he may have said the money. But again, he probably wasn't 100% Grant at that point. Honestly, for me, I'd probably have taken the money when I was 24. But when I was 24, I had some challenges. So Grant goes on to say, I have experienced both having millions of dollars and helping millions of people, and I know that help is more valuable than money. Okay? Truly, it is. I know that when I get a big fat paycheck, it feels pretty good. I know that when a salesperson calls me up and says, hey man, I got on your guys' program, and when I started this thing, I didn't know if I was going to have money for Christmas presents for my family. And since I've been studying Grant's material, I've made enough money that, you know, not only are there presents under the tree, but the stockings are hung by the chimney with care. In fact, I can't hang them by the chimney with care because there's stuff so full of stuff that they're too heavy. So when I get a call like that from a young man who's in his mid-20s and wife and 2 kids and struggling and went from barely getting by to killing it, that's worth, to me, all the money in the world. You know, we had a guy, you know, in the auto industry had his first 20-car month by just going on the no negativity diet. That's all that he did. He's just like, you know what? I'm kicking negativity out of my life for the next 30 days. Sure enough, the dude has his first 20-car month. So when you hear that story, you're like, okay, that's why I show up every day. Yeah, okay, I make some money. Great, big deal. But that's why I do what I do. All right? So for me, help is way more valuable than money. Okay? Grant says, I assure you that helping 1 million people will last longer than $1 million and bring you more joy. Case in point. The great news is if you can figure out how to help 1 million people, you'll most likely end up with $1 million. Probably more. I know for myself, helping others has been more valuable to me than just pure money. For 30 years, helping other people has been his primary concern. Okay. Marco says, because of your help, David, Grant's material, I'm on track to make $300,000. Okay, so Marco's just making my day right now. All right, so let me read this again. Because of your help, David, and Grant's material, I'm on track to make $300,000, 3 times the money than he was making at his previous gig. Dude, that's fantastic, man. That's thank you, congratulations, dude. That's really good news. I didn't know that you were knocking it out of the parky park like that. So nice, dude. Congratulations. That's fantastic. Grant says, today I have friends all over the world. People support me in my endeavors. I have accumulated a confidence as a result of others' success and the joy of knowing I made a contribution in the lives of others. So, hey, Bill says that's fantastic, man. So, yeah, congratulations, Marco. That's huge, buddy. Okay, so, you know, that's the moral of that story. Help 1 million people, and money will never be your issue. So, the lesson to take forward into the nooner today is literally how can you help 1 million people? I mean, if you want to figure out, you're like, all right, I want to be a millionaire. How do I make $1 million, right? Then the answer is, the question that should come after that is, okay, how do I help 1 million people? Right? And then everything that Grant talks about, everything that we teach, that you just back into that plan, right? So let's do it. I'm probably going to need a calculator. But what do? Right? You go, so I want to make $1 million. We're doing this live, okay? 1 million equals help 1 million. Right? Okay, so I need a product. What's the help product? Okay, we could look at Cardone University. Right? We could look at this book. Grant's got a book. Right? Grant talks a lot about how you don't write books to make money. You write books to get attention. But if enough people buy the book, it makes money. Right? So we could look at my book, right? How to Stop Smoking Without Killing Anyone. Okay? That book's all about helping. Okay? You got to go 10 times. So does that mean I need 10 million eyeballs? So I get my product in front of 10 million people, then what? I need 1 million to say yes. But it's not just that. Just because somebody buys the book doesn't mean they read the book. I got to get them to read it. I got to get them to implement the material that's in there. I got to get them to actually participate in the help. All right? So whether it's reading this book, whether it's using Cardone University, whether it's reading my book, whatever, there's no value exchanged unless it works. So I know I've exchanged value with Marco. Right? Marco has given us money. We have given him a service. He has turned around and taken that and applied what we've taught him. And because of that, he's on track to make $300,000 this year. Marco, I'm probably going to need a video that I can send to Grant on that, by the way. So Bill says massive action. That's right. You got to take massive amounts of action. You got to get attention. People are going to try and push back. Okay? Right? You'll get criticism. You're going to get some hate out of that deal. And then you get into the admiration. Okay? So $1 million means you got to help 1 million, which means you got to get in front of 10 million. How do I get in front of 10 million people? TV, radio, internet, social media. I'm in front of 11 people now, 56 total. Okay? Because as Grant says, what's your biggest problem? The number one problem for any business, any company, any salesperson is obscurity. People don't know who you are. They can't do business with you. You can't help anybody either. So that means you got to maybe step outside of your comfort zone. You got to start getting out there. You got to be, hey! You got to get some attention now. Break out of the obscurity. Marco says, check your text. I will. Okay. So, hey, what are you guys getting from this thing today? Huh? Web attention, YouTube. That's right. That's where this is going, right? I'm wrapping this thing up. I'm going to go make some phone calls, talk to some clients. I'm downloading this after I save it. It goes up on the YouTube later on this afternoon. YouTube's a fan, and it's free. Costs you nothing. If you can't help 1 million people in this day and age, everything is possible. So that's today's episode of the Nooner. I think the best way to wrap this up is to finalize this quote from that article, which is help 1 million people and money will never be your issue. So that's been episode 61 of the Nooner. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Appreciate it. I am your host. I'm David Bradley. I'm coming in at here Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon, Pacific Standard Time. We will see you guys on Monday. If you got a topic suggestion for me, tweet it out to me at davidrbradley.com. I'd be happy to cover it on an episode of the Nooner. Sales question, business question, life question. That's what we do here on the Nooner. We're talking sales, business, and life. I will see you guys on Monday. Appreciate you being here so far. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.